Taking pictures is always it's almost been a way of like proof, like Kylie, look, like here's who you are, here's the most real version of yourself in an outfit that you love, and this is who you are. It's not this image in your mind.
I want to make a career out of it, I gotta play to the audience. And if I'm gonna do that, I gotta make the audience like me and give a shit about me.
People just like think like I'm perfect and I'm not at all. It feels like a whole other life.
Oh. Yeah, oh my gosh. That was the photo that I like resonated with and took the most because I'm just so sad here. In a way I like loved it, I don't know why. I just like, maybe I was finally like really like showing how I felt, but in a way like I knew at the time that this photo was special and I'm glad I still have it.
Do you think you like this photo so much because it felt like you weren't pretending here?
That's a great, I think that's probably exactly what it is. So there was a point where I kind of was just being a little rebellious and I posted on Instagram, which technically thwarted their plan of how to like come out in this small community in the Midwest. Looking back, only 42 people liked it and like 10 people commented, but like at the time that was really something I was so proud of. I didn't tell anyone I was gonna do that. I probably should have, but I'm really happy that I was able to do it on my own terms. Even though I was grateful for the larger plan, this was very much for me. Taking photos and documenting a lot of my life has been really profound for me. It's almost been a way of like proof, like Kylie, look, like here's who you are, here's the most real version of yourself in an outfit that you love, and this is who you are. It's not this image in your mind, and that's been really transformative actually.
It's really comforting to say, this is who I am, right? And I know it, and I know you, and you know me, and there is a sense of stability that I can know about you and me that carries across. But the data suggests that that's not so true.
At this point, my Instagram really isn't like a reflection of my life, and I guess I wish people seeing the things I post would know that. Sometimes it is, but it's largely just kind of like maybe my magazine or like just like a fun presentation of like what's inside my mind. A lot of this is fun because it's kind of confronting myself in an honest way. There was a period of my transition where I didn't want any photos taken of myself, and though this is not a real representation of what life is, it's kind of a way to interrogate and know myself closer. I don't know myself all the way yet. I don't fully know who I am even till this point, but I know maybe most of it or a big part of it, and I'm really grateful for that. I'm still learning who I am, and sometimes I look in the mirror, look at myself, or maybe I take a picture, I'm like, who is that? Who is she? What is she going through? What is she doing? And that's kind of been a lot of the last 6 months. I haven't posted very much, and I think that's okay. There was a point where I was like, oh, I should represent that I'm doing well. People care. I know that people want to see me doing well, and I'm excited to get to a point where I can be creating more creative things and feel at a place where maybe that's not representing entirely who I am, but it's representing a fun side of who I am. But, oh, yeah. Can I keep going? Of course.
He says he has no social media, and that's kind of where it clicks. And I find myself preaching the same things that my friend who I'd met a semester before had taught me. And it turns out that these two people are actually best friends. and I just yet to meet the second one. That night I deleted all my accounts off of the internet. I guess it's kind of cliche to say life has been a lot better, but life really has been a lot better.
No, I don't have a Jim Bro Instagram.
Well, I do.
I
totally forgot that existed.
I used to have one.
Wait, you did? Yeah.
I didn't have one.
It still exists.
Oh wait, I guess
It still exists? It
Luca,
still exists.
Luca and I had that. I used to have one too.
Social media is fake. To me, it's fake, so it's not necessarily bad. You can't take everything that you see as real.
You hear him purring? Hey, Muffin. You gotta not. He does delete files though when he jumps on my keyboard, and it's so annoying.
And I was like, yeah, man, I kind of want to start to find my own voice. I was like, I know, like, I'm not super sure of myself. I know there's things that I do that I think are really funny, and there's moments of brilliance where I really feel strong and finite, but it's not there enough, and I would like it to be. And I think a daily vlog might help me really tune into that voice and see what that is. In retrospect, I still think I'm finding it. Adults usually say, wow, that's commitment, which I wish they would just say, wow, frankly, not the that's commitment part. I'm sure that will, fall off when I'm actually making money or I have some sort of following.
When I think about identity performance, I usually actually go to the texts of Erving Goffman, who was a sociologist that explored this idea of the front stage and the backstage, right? And in particular, this idea that we really just mostly interact with each other's front stages, right? That is, that I want you to believe in me in a particular way. You would think that that actually would be a realization of a better version of ourselves because we can do that curation. But what I've come to realize is that actually what it is, curation's a really polite way of saying we've all become much better liars.
I mean, it's a weird thing where if you're doing something every single day, you kind of get into these rhythms and these stagnant states where you're not really improving a whole lot, and you're kind of just like, what am I saying? Why am I doing this? But and it was hard for me for a little while. I would say probably it took me about 170-ish days to really let go and just be like, don't take this that seriously, have some fun with it, see what you can do. And I was abroad when that started to happen. I started to see some actual success with views, which was really kind of neat. And nothing crazy. I mean, I'm still, it's not crazy. But it was cool to see that. But it was definitely one of those things, like, it also helped me not take social media so goddamn seriously.
Particular pep in my step today when I was getting work done.
Ani's filming a documentary on RJ.
Oh yeah, nice.
Who's trying to put a leash on the cat right now.
It's funny, my end goal originally was 100 days, and then it was a year, and now it's 1,000 days. And honestly, each time I hit a milestone, like I'm coming up, I think in 2.5 weeks, I'm gonna hit a year. And I really enjoy it.
Or like the Ferrari thing. Dude, he's sitting on some of the craziest fucking like Aston Martin pieces. Really? Yeah. Well, how do you want to do this?
Well, that's me though, bro.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense. There's no way to, you know what I'm saying? Text.
Alright, yeah.
Let's go! Oh my god!
It's okay. I just really want to go to the
When I would DJ at different clubs, I would kind of look around the room while I'm DJing to see what people are doing, and I would see like someone take out their phone, record a video, everyone's going crazy and stuff. Immediately when the phone stops recording, they're just like, you know, just texting on the phone. And I'm like, dude, it's so fake. Like, that app is just extremely fake. So I was just like, oh, I'm so happy to get rid of this, man. I don't have to worry about any of this anymore.
Filming my life every day for a year is almost as crazy as taking my cat outside on a leash. He didn't like it very much, but he has Ani to thank because she needs more footage for her documentary, which I am, again, so honored to be a part of. But we'll get more footage for that later. These last 365 days have been an incredible journey, and if you're still here, thank you. I can't wait to see where the next 365 days take us. But for now, it's time for bed.
Part of the reason I'm doing is it's something I can improve on every single day. And express myself in different ways every single day. Yeah, there's so many reasons to love that thing. It's genuinely one of my favorite things in this world. It's pretty awesome.
I want to be perceived as like gorgeous and pretty, and I wouldn't post pictures unless I was like, this is the most perfect picture of me that it can be. Like, it doesn't even look like me. Like, I'm like, I got rid of my acne, I made like my teeth whiter. I'm like, that's not me. Like, that's this other version of me.
I don't know, it's so hard. There's moments too where like I want to go ghost and not post, but I can't do that. Like, I've actually had times where I literally am in a contract saying, okay, you like have to be online. And I'm like, even when I don't want to, I still have to. And that's where it can get like, oh, okay.
I can imagine.
Okay. I recently like changed my bio too. I changed my bio to pre-law and like unfollow galore. Like, so many people were upset. Again, people don't want anyone complicated.
Hello, angels. Welcome back to my channel.
A lot of it, like, is hard because it feels like a lot of my identity is tied to my hair. Oh, even like when people see me on campus, if I have my hair styled a different way, they don't recognize me.
What I'm seeing in all of those millions at this point of selfies and short videos and what have you isn't identity play. It's conformity. It's this conformity over and over and over again. You know, and that's it's odd to imagine that the safest way to become invisible is to be hyper visible in the way that everybody else is hyper visible. But I actually think that's what's playing out.
So I would say though social media has been like one of my biggest mental health like issues. I never had anxiety before, never had anything of that, and now like it's constant. So if like my follower count drops, oh, I'm failing in life. Or if, yeah, it's just like that constant, like I just feel like, okay, my page, like everything needs to be perfect so I can be perceived as perfect.
You know, we're cognitively limited, right? There's only so much we can process in a conscious, controlled way at any one point. And as a result of that, the need to categorize, the need to put things in simple buckets, and that includes ourselves, it is very real.
Everyone says, oh, you're going to miss out, you're not going to be able to go to X, Y, and Z, and so I've just kind of given up on having conversations, you know, like that with people.
There's a statistic that's thrown around. I think it's like 95% of people are thinking about what everyone else thinks of them, when in reality, that would be kind of a paradox, because then no one's actually thinking about you. You're just thinking about how other people perceive you. And I definitely fell into that, and I still do a little bit. So just my argument's always that humanity's gonna die one day. Our sun will implode and kill this solar system. And even if we could venture off into the cosmos for eternity, every single star will die out and every single source of power will eventually go away. So embarrassing things will only last so long, and the perception of who you are will die out eventually.
In the classroom, I'm seeing more and more anxiety, more and more depression, more and more a sense of needing to define self immediately, and that to not know self is somehow a liability.
Like everybody, I think I'm very insecure. I want to be seen as someone that's adventurous and fun and outgoing. When I see somebody doing something that connects with me, I'm like, gosh, I want to be seen as that. I want to be seen in the same way I see them.
This is one of the things that when I think about and feel sorry for your generation, it is sort of coming back to something you said earlier, which is that photo of me that I don't like is forever. So let's extend that to that identity that you tried on for a moment, as opposed to an outfit, is forever. And you're held accountable to that forever. So you're expected to be sort of evolving, maturing, sort of liquid. And yet the digital environment, which is where you spend the majority of your time, actually is constantly telling you, oh, no, this is going to follow you.
Yeah, I've come to learn that my authentic self needs to include the parts that I've cast off and cut away. Because ultimately in my life, what I think I'm presenting as an authentic self is ultimately very shallow. And to some it's even obvious that it's shallow. For a long time I was like, oh, no one can tell, and there'd be some brief moments where like someone looks at you in the eye and they can tell what's going on. And that's really hard to still navigate, because you think that you're safe. You're like, oh, I'm just presenting a very limited version, and that should be fine. But when there's people that know that that version is so diluted and scared.
No. Oh my goodness. No. I understand that. Like, when you say shallow, it's almost putting your best foot forward or trying to seem like you're always strong and everything's good, but then again it feels like an abandonment of yourself. And also it seems like what hurts is that people can still see that even when you try to show that, it still feels almost worse, because now it's like they see that I'm pretending. Is that why it hurts, you think?
Definitely. And it's so interesting thinking about that language and that idea in the context of everything we've talked about. Yeah. In some ways, the Instagram is the best of that diluted stuff. Because it's like, in a way, it's like an artistic expression. It's fun, it's different. There was always a way of it being like irreverent and like kind of already a joke. Like, oh, I love this, but it's not leaning into the obvious. But there's a point that you leave so far into the obvious that it's so distant from who you are, like, and I love it. I still kind of see them as almost like paintings, or just like a shine, like a single second of like the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And I still have love for that, but I think I've even diverted and shifted a bit away from that, because I don't know, it's because I'm not able to tap into it, if not the full version of Kylie, at least like more of myself, whether that be the happy, the sad, the real moments. So maybe ultimately that will change, and maybe that's okay. Maybe that's not like I'm done with social media. I mean, I don't know. I still see beauty in it, but maybe how I use it will ultimately change.
One of my favorite people growing up was Hannah Montana. Like, I loved the whole storyline, and it's kind of what I'm fighting with now, like being online heaven, Miley or Hannah. towards the whole storyline at the end, like her being herself, like you're watching her like go through that constant fight of who she really is. We just didn't see enough of people like wanting to be both sides. So that's why we always think we have to be one when there's no rule book to how to be yourself.